Are you trying to figure out how you can better track your team's performance? In this video, I'm going to show you how you can create KPIs for your team so that you can 10x the results that you're getting. For more videos like this, be sure to hit the subscribe button so you can get notified every time I post a video about team, management, leadership, you name it. Now, I've used KPIs in my team personally, as well as with my hundreds of clients, and it has really helped them be able to manage the way things are actually going and feel like as the CEO, you actually have a grasp on what's being accomplished and what's not being accomplished within your team. So let's get straight into it. Now, before we get started, you may be wondering what a KPI even is. It stands for Key Performance Indicator, and it means just that. It's an indicator of performance. It's a tool that you can use in your business to get a very clear snapshot on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly basis to see how certain areas of the business and how certain team members are actually performing. Now, I know when we hear KPI, we think like super corporate, super structured, like I'm an entrepreneur, I don't want that, I don't need that. But I promise having KPIs in place is going to up-level your team's performance overall because everything is going to be very well supervised. So the first step to actually being able to create KPIs so that you can then track them is to actually make sure that you have clearly established roles within your team. Now, I know when you're a business owner, it can feel really easy to have everyone on the team doing a little bit of everything, right? You have your VA who's touching in a bunch of different projects, you have your marketing person that's in a bunch of different projects. But in order for roles to have KPIs assigned to them, we really have to make sure that their role is very clearly defined and that they're not in too many areas of the business, right? Now, this very easily leads me into step 2, which is to sit and kind of think. When I think of this particular role, what is the overall outcome or impact that I'm hoping to get from working with this person? So I'll give you an example. Let's use social media manager because I feel like that's fairly universal. Everyone is probably going to have someone to help them with their marketing at one point or another, right? So when you decide to hire a social media manager, most likely the outcome or the impact that you're hoping this person will have is that they're going to create more visibility for your company, right? So when we're thinking about, well, what is the indicator that this area or this role is performing well, we want to tie it directly back to the impact that they should be having in their role. So if we want to increase visibility, then we likely want to create a KPI around visibility. So how do we do that, right? We want to then take it a step further and ask ourselves, what tangible metric can I look at on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly basis to essentially evaluate whether our visibility is increasing, staying the same, or decreasing? So some really easy ones off the top of my head, maybe we're looking at Instagram reach, maybe we're looking at the growth of our email list, maybe we're looking at how our posts are then correlating to website clicks. There's a number of different metrics that we could be looking at. But we want to hold on to, I would say, 1 to 3 of those metrics because having one role be responsible for 10 KPIs can feel really overwhelming and actually kind of start to eliminate the point of the KPI in the first place. I'll give you another example. Let's say you're running an agency that does website design and you then decide to hire another designer, let's call it a junior designer, to help you with designs, right? Now, the overall impact that you're hoping to achieve by hiring this person or the goal that you want them to accomplish is most likely for them to take some of your client load off of your plate, right? We want them to be able to independently design websites, or maybe we want them to be able to handle a large portion of the process, right? So again, looking at how do we pull an actual KPI from that, we may look at things like number of revisions, we may look at turnaround time, we may look at customer satisfaction. Those can be some very clear indicators of, is this designer actually doing a good job in their role, right? Now, the beauty of having KPIs in place is that it really eliminates a lot of the gray area when managing our teams, right? So it's very clear to the designer, am I doing great, or is there an area that I need to improve upon? It also allows them to take more responsibility and autonomy over their role. So tell me, have you ever created a KPI for your team and what was the outcome? Were you successful with it? Did it feel kind of pointless? Let me know below in the comments. So once you've made it through the first 3 steps, which is 1, making sure you have a very clearly defined role for this person, 2, doing some thinking and pulling out what is the overall impact and outcome that we want this role to have. And then 3, actually finding the what from that, right? Like, what is the actual metric? What is the KPI that's going to be associated with that impact? Then you're going to move on to step 4, which is actually managing the KPI, right? So we want to decide, do we want to look at this thing daily, weekly, monthly, whatever would be the most effective. General rule of thumb is that you want to have supervision over the things that need intense supervision. You can always back off later, right? So let's say you're having an issue with productivity. You may be looking at task completion on a daily basis or weekly basis, but as we get better and more efficient and more productive, we may be able to back off and maybe look at it monthly or bi-weekly, right? You can utilize things like Asana, ClickUp, Airtable, whatever your project management tool is. You can use those to kind of keep track of those KPIs so that your team members have a common place to put all of this data. You really want the person who is closest to the KPI to be the one that's reporting it, right? So if you have a designer and you're looking at number of revisions, it's not necessarily on you to keep tally of all of these revisions. They should be able to report on this data and really take ownership over it. In my team meetings, we actually have a section where everyone reports on their KPIs for the previous week. And it's actually a really cool time because, one, people are able to brag on themselves and share the amazing things that they've been doing, and you can see how much ownership they take. But then also, if there is a week where our KPIs fell short in one of our marketing areas or one of our tech areas, we can brainstorm and collaborate as a team on how we're going to improve it moving forward. So as we wrap up, I want to let you know that what is measured is improved. Do not think that KPIs are some form of micromanagement. This is simply actually managing your team, right? When we as the CEO take a leap and decide to hire other people, it is absolutely our responsibility to then manage the performance of those team members. In another video, we'll talk about how you can take these KPIs to the next level, how you can really use them to inform performance reviews and some of your daily and weekly conversations. But for now, I want you to create some KPIs for the people that you're already working with. So like I said, try to keep it to 1 to 3 and see how much this changes the day-to-day in your business. A common theme that you're gonna see me share is that this structure that we have been brainwashed into thinking is a bad thing is actually the key to having more autonomy on your team, and it's the key to you as the CEO being able to truly relinquish some of that control. So if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know below what was your favorite part, what was the most impactful, and if you have any questions, please let me know. I'll see you in the next one.